Hey, welcome everybody to our special announcement. My name is Tamara Pierre, and this is my wonderful husband, Elite Pierre. And we are here to talk about today the importance of attending events.
Yes.
I will move myself out of the way and let my wonderful husband take it away.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, family and friends, first of all, thank you so much for following us on social media. Thank you for connecting with us in business and also all your love and support. It really does truly mean a lot to us. Those of you who are part of our organization, you know we just launched today 90 Days of Greatness, our campaign that for the next 90 days, we're going to be locked in, focused, and actually making things happen, making a lot of moves and changing a lot of lives. So make sure you stay plugged in. Make sure you actually, take advantage of this momentum that our team is in. We have a phenomenal, super summer regional coming up in Atlanta next month, right? And we are so fired up about it. We want to make sure everybody has all the information about the event, all the events that's leading up to the event. You know, most of y'all knew we led earlier this month. We had the Miami event. Last month we had the Detroit event. We was in Raleigh. We was in where did it kick off at? In Houston. We were in Philly. It kicked off in Philly.
I think they were in New York. I'm not sure.
Yeah, New York wasn't one of the regional events. That would just happen to be a super Saturday that looked like a regional event.
Really was bad.
We were in Greenville last weekend. I mean, we had our own little tour going on in Cincinnati, the DMV, Greenville, South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. As you can see, Total Life Changes is really making some noise in the market, in the industry. By the way, quick plug, make sure you vote for the IASOT. We're up for the product of the year again, or product of the industry again. So make sure you stop and make your vote, businessfromhome.com, and make your vote for our product. So let's go right into it, ladies and gentlemen. You have to attend events, especially the big events. I got the lineup, I got the schedule of the event, and I'm going to kind of go through all the announcements. Maybe some of you missed the announcements or the calls that the leadership had that announced everything that you have to look forward to. I know a lot of people on my team don't even know, what times the different events at the regional is going to happen. But ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be 2 full days of excitement, 2 full days of jam-packed business built-in, connecting, networking that's going to help you take your Total Life Changes business to the next level. I'm going to have my wife kind of share some stories about some journeys that we went through, along our path in network marketing. We've been in the industry for almost 4 years. This is actually my 9th conference that I've been to. I'm talking about big conference. I don't even count this as a regional conference because it's a super regional. I don't look at this as a regional conference. It's bigger than a regional, right? This is like a mini national. So if I want to add up all the national events that I've been to, 9 of them, 8 for my wife, but 9 for me because I went to I think 7 for you, 9 for me because I went to the first one by myself. And then I went to Utah by myself, but every other one, Tamara has been there every step of the way. So she's been there for the struggles and the challenges that come every time something great is about to happen. So this is what I want the message for each and every one of you that's watching to be. You have to overcome every obstacle that's going to stop you from getting to conference. Atlanta, July 22nd and 23rd. You have to be there. No excuses. No, like you can't accept no for an answer from you or anybody else when it comes to getting to Atlanta. So, Mrs. Pierre, I'm going to let you take it away.
Well, I first want to start by saying it starts in your hometown, in your area. Any event that you can make it to, it's important that you get there because it will set the tone for the bigger event. If you're not inviting to the events that are easy for people in your network to get to, I know you're not inviting to the Atlanta event, to the big event.
Yeah.
And that's where our business flourishes. When you can sit people in front of a vision that's bigger than you, And it can start at home in your living room when you bring somebody in to do a home party for you, or there's a Super Saturday in your area, maybe an hour or so away. But if you're not inviting for the events that are not hard for you to get to, like it's not a sacrifice for you to drive 30 minutes, on a Saturday when you weren't doing anything anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's not a sacrifice when you only have to pay $10 at the door.
Yep.
If you're not doing that, I know the discipline is not there for when you have to get on a flight and travel a couple 100 miles and pay $100+ for a ticket. And then we wonder why we can't, effectively do our business. It's because we're not doing the small things and sometimes the big sacrifice that it takes to flourish your business. So for us, when I speak on making sacrifices for getting to events, I literally mean that. The very first national event we went to, well, it was international. The very first international event we went to with our first company, we took out a loan to get there.
Yep.
Our plane tickets together came to over $1,000, plus the event tickets, plus the hotel stay. It was not cheap for us to get there. And at this point, we weren't even making any money in the company. We
None.
just knew it was important for us to be there. And at that point, we couldn't even get anyone to come and do a home party for us. So we were onesie twosie in it until the event, trying to make as many exposures as we possibly could, to get as many business partners as we possibly could, to bring them to Los Angeles with us.
Yep.
And it was a sacrifice. Our parents had to come in from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Kentucky to watch our children for us to go. And I will tell you one thing. We stuck it out in that company for a year. And on the 13th month, we made a check for $12.66. But that event got me priceless training with John Maxwell and Chris Wagner.
Yep.
So, and I actually got to meet them and see their training live in person. So for me, it was personal development, watch these people on YouTube. And then I got to actually see and meet the people that I was listening to for about 6 months straight.
Yep.
So I learned a lot about me in the process, and I learned a lot about sacrifice. Now, fast forward to the next event was Charlotte, and it wasn't that we drove. So it wasn't that big of a sacrifice, but it was still a sacrifice. It was the very next event. They had them quarterly. So, while we're still paying off this loan we took out to go to the Los Angeles event,
here comes the next event.
So it's like, okay, we still have to pay our bills.
Yep.
We have to get to the next event. We have to make sure we have tickets and hotel and money for gas.
Yep.
And
money for food.
Still pay off this loan.
Yep.
So it was a sacrifice, but not as big of a sacrifice, but we went anyway. We drove into Charlotte, got the training we needed to get, and planned the event, and planned to go to the next event, which that year was in San Jose.
Yep, San Jose, California.
Now here's another flight we have to take because we're East Coast. Now we have to go to the West Coast. Another sacrifice. From that event, I'm not talking about when we got home. I'm not talking about once we had a meeting about it and debated on whether or not we're going to try to make it or, try to talk ourselves out of it. From that event, in the seats, we purchased our tickets. We
bought the tickets for the next event.
And we purchased our hotel rooms right there. Like, it's the commitment that counts. You'll find a way. God will open doors up for you that you didn't even think were possible if you step out on faith.
Yep.
If we're in this to win this, then there's going to be times that we're going to require to actually believe in something that we cannot see. We don't know how it's going to get there. We don't know where the end is, if there's light at the end of the tunnel. But if you have faith, if you believe that you will step out on the other end, you will.
You will.
So fast forward to getting into Total Life Changes. The very first event, as he told you, he went by himself. At that point, I was a little burnt out. Just to keep it real with everybody that's watching, I was burnt out. The industry had tapped me out a little bit. And so, that's a whole another topic, but I was not on board the very first part of Elite's journey until Life Changes. And you're going to run into that. Those of us who are watching who have spouses, they may not understand or not buy into the vision right away. I'll just tell you to hold on. There's going to and encourage your spouse as much as you possibly can, because you're going to reach a level where you cannot get past it without your spouse.
Yep. Greg Scott told me that at the event that she's about to tell you, Atlanta 2015.
He went to Atlanta by himself. You know, the sacrifice was, you know, us in the household, not really seeing eye to eye with the vision. And he was like, I'm going. And I was like, well, see when you get back. Took
my team with me.
And
we piled up in the hotel. There was 3 of us. 3 men sleeping in the bed together. We was, I'm telling you, well, all of us wasn't in the bed. 2 of us was in the bed, and then 1 was in a chair. And then the second night, they switched. Like, it was my hotel room, so I'm sleeping in the bed both nights, god dang it. But we slept head to toe like this the first night, and then you get the chair, and then tomorrow you get the bed, and then he get the chair. I mean, and then you do what you got to do. My very first event, my very first conference, international conference, this was before Tamara went. I was in Charlotte. I went to the first Charlotte event before we went to LA. I was in the room with 10 other men, right? There was like 3 people sleeping on one queen bed. There was 3 people sleeping on the other queen bed. It had like one of those little seats under the window. There was somebody sleeping on that, the little cushion under the window. I was on the floor, and it was like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There was like 2 other people on the floor too. The morning of, like, half of us had to take showers the night before just to make sure there was enough time because we wasn't at the host hotel. We still had to get in cars and drive to the event. I mean, there's so many sacrifices. If you've never slept on a floor at a national conference, or if you're able to get a hotel room and you don't have your team, your friends and your family, or your new business partners piled up into a room together, you haven't went through that part of the process to get to the level that you see some of these other leaders at. Have a conversation with some of them. I'm telling y'all, like, the beginning is real, but understand one day you're going to be in a penthouse and you're going to be buying room blocks for your team, talking about these 10 rooms are for y'all. Y'all pile into them. We done paved our way, and now we up in the penthouse, and there's still room for y'all. Like, y'all gotta have vision that this is going to happen, and I know that this is part of the process. I was talking to Will Jeffries earlier, a little earlier before the broadcast. You know, I was like, bro, I literally jumped off the bridge, like, I know my parachute's gonna open. I have faith that it's going to happen. Like, I just make a decision whenever I have a revelation of what needs to happen for me to grow my business. I just jump out there. Like, I don't even really, a lot of times I don't even. I'm not gonna say I don't plan it all the way through, but I know that there's a process.
He's telling the truth.
I mean, yeah. But I know I have to get to Atlanta. Like, just like earlier this year, I knew we had to get to New Orleans. So it's like, okay, boom, we're getting to New Orleans, point blank, period. I don't know how we're getting there. I don't know where we're staying. But y'all, we had the Atlanta tickets are bought. When I got that phone call from corporate confirming that I will be in attendance, and I'm like, man, this is the first time in almost 4 years I've been in the industry. I ain't never got a phone call from corporate confirming my attendance at the conference. I was like, I gotta buy my ticket right now. I called Tamara immediately, like, babe, corporate said I got a phone call from the Houston office. I gotta buy my ticket now. Like, we could buy your ticket later, but my ticket has to be bought right now so they can confirm our attendance. And I was like, man, I don't know how we gonna do it. We had to pool money, y'all. Like, I wasn't ready at that time, but now I'm committed. I booked my hotel. We booked our hotel today. We're gonna be staying, and I'm gonna give y'all the information. We're gonna be staying at the window, right? The host hotel is sold out already. Hopefully, you know, within 24 hours, somebody might cancel their event, and then we could, you know, push some more people to the host hotel. Because I'm trying to get in the host hotel, but if I can't, I'm in the second hotel that's still hosted under Global One team. You can still get the discount. It's affordable. 2 nights is like $300. So, you know, get with other people that you've been working with in the business, and you know, if y'all gotta go in on the hotel, turn that $300 for 2 nights into $150 for you and a business partner each. Like, you got to make it happen, y'all. Y'all got to make the sacrifice. So you was about to talk about New Orleans.
New Orleans was probably the hardest event to get to.
It was the biggest, and that was the last event, the most recent. That was the hardest one, y'all.
It was the hardest one to get to. We drove 12 hours with all of our children.
Yep.
For my son, who was a baby at the time, it was his very first road trip, long. And let's just say he cried the majority of the way there and back.
Yeah.
And then once we got there, settled down a little bit, but we didn't even know how we were getting there 48 hours before the event. We had no idea.
Still was trying to figure all that out. Had the tickets.
Just couldn't figure out if we were going to, put all those miles on our car or rent a vehicle.
Rent a car, borrow a car.
And then we got there, had our hotel room and everything, but things happened along the way to prevent us from actually having a smooth and relaxing time. The event was absolutely wonderful. It was roadblocks in the way for us to get there because we needed to be there.
Yep.
If it had been easy for us to get there, and I'm noticing that with every event, out of every event that's hard for us to get to, it's because there's a reason why we needed to be there, and the universe or some people blame it on the devil. I don't blame things like that on the devil. It's just, it is what it is. When there is a breakthrough or something good for you on the other side, it's almost like nature to just block your way there, to make it hard, just like anything worth eating or anything that has to grow has to break through the surface.
Yeah. And
that's almost what it's like. You have to break through what I'm going to put in front of you to see if you're worthy to get what's on the other side. And every event, it's been like that. So New Orleans was definitely one of them ones. We masterminded the evening after the event with Global Director Daryl Drake and a few team members. And at the end of that night, it was kind of late for us to get back on the road and drive 12 hours. So we wanted to stay an extra night. Be it, finances were a little heavy. We had to call in a favor. Now, any of you who went to New Orleans were familiar with how much the rooms were, but you also were familiar with what time of the year we were in New Orleans.
Yep.
Mardi Gras was starting that same week. We had it the weekend, that very next Monday, Mardi Gras. So when we went to book our room, they're like, oh, the Total Life Changes price is no longer in effect. We have to charge you the regular
full rate,
which was just about double what we paid for New Orleans.
Yeah.
So luckily, shout out to Mr. Drake. He was able to work some things out for us and get us the TLC rate, which is all we could afford at the time.
Yeah.
Woke up that very next morning to get my son some Pampers, because remember I told you guys that all the kids were there. Elite goes to the grocery store to get him some Pampers. He's in line. He calls me and he says, the car's not working. I'm like, what do you mean the car's not working? He's like, it's not working. I'm like, I know there was money in there. I just looked in there last night. Well, it was Monday. Everything that we had did prior to Monday had all came out of the bank, along with some other bills that were paid before we got there. Needless to say, $0, 0 cents, and we're 12 and a half, maybe 13 hours away from home, and my son needs Pampers. And we had no money.
No money.
Like none.
Yep. Event's over. Like, it's time to go home now. This is Monday morning. No, Sunday morning. Right?
Monday
morning. It was hard. It was hard. Now, the reward was, as soon as we came back from New Orleans, like, we made it happen. Called in a favor, called the bank, made some things happen. Reached out to our leadership, who actually did help out.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Candace Bird Davis. Definitely helped out in a tight situation. Which again, rewind back to the very first business. When we reached out to our leadership in the first business, They said that post I put on Facebook was for new reps. All expense paid trips to
No, it wasn't
San
even
Jose.
new reps. It was people who wasn't in the business yet.
Yeah, potential prospects. That all expense paid trip to San Jose, that's not for people who's already in the business.
But mind you, they were getting paid bonuses for each one of their team members registered for an event. So it's like, okay, my tickets got you a bonus.
Got you a bonus. They was giving away bonuses for pre-registration.
And every time there's an event, we have 2 tickets.
Yep.
Every single time. And we're buying packages. We're not just buying, you know, the separate one-day ticket
basic,
or whatever. We
buy the half package.
We knew we needed to be there, you know, a hotel room, 2 nights, whatever the packages
whatever VIP,
were.
if they have dinners, like you gotta be engulfed in the event. Like you can't miss no part of it. So
I'm not saying
we buy whatever they got going on. I mean, what are you saying?
Because for some people, maybe they can't afford the VIP dinner, but they're there for each night and they got their hotel room.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it.
I'm not saying that.
You make it happen if you can.
But I'm saying
stuff that happens at those dinners and in those little meetings that could change your business, and then now you'll never have to worry about affording it again. So, I mean, go ahead.
I forget, but yeah, so New Orleans definitely was the biggest one. That was a sacrifice that it stabbed a lot. Like it hurt a lot to get there. But on the other side of that, if many of you follow us, when we came back, we had the most momentum in our business than we've had in the whole 19 months we've been in it. So I know that we built and mended relationships at that New Orleans event. We made new connections at that New Orleans event. We were supposed to be there. There's no doubt in my mind that we were supposed to be there. We were doubting if we were even going to go. Like, you know what? This just is too much going on. We got to take the kids. You know, how is Junior going to act? Like, I knew as a mom that this was going to be tough on him because he hadn't been on a road trip yet. So I'm like, I don't know how this is going to be. You know, you when things are difficult, you find yourself talking yourself out of it more than you're trying to convince yourself to do it. And it's like everything was just like, no, don't go. And we looked at each other. We was like, no, we're going and we need to be there. And we made it happen. And I'm thankful that I did make it happen because it put a fire in me that I didn't have prior to going. And now, you know, anybody who's following us, they see after the event, I've been a lot more present in what's going on. If there's a webinar, if there's a call, you know, anything my leadership needs from me, I'm like, I'm there. Let me know what you need. I'll be there. And it took a shift. And New Orleans was part of that shift for me. So some of you all who are watching may feel like you're stuck or you don't know if you're a good fit for the business, if things are going the way you want them to, you know, you feel like you're just at a loss. I'm telling you from experience that the events will change that. It really will. Some of the stories that you're going to hear from people, you know, similar to our story about what it took for them to get there and what happened on the other side. Some of the stories that you'll hear about from some of the leaders that you would have never even known that they went through it, but you're not going to get that message if you're not connected. If you don't stay plugged in, there's things you're going to miss. And then we all come back from events, or you'll see us posting things on Facebook, and then you're like, wait, I didn't know that, or that happened, I didn't know that. Nobody told me. It's like, well, you had to be there. It's like an exclusive event. Yes, it's a privilege for social media to exist, for us to be able to broadcast these events. Because some people were like, I'll just watch it on Facebook. Somebody will stream it. I ain't got to go. I don't have to spend the money. Somebody's going to post it on Facebook. And I've heard that. I've heard that from people, and I've seen people post that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, these are the people who are not taking their business seriously. It's a hobby. And then they're complaining about why they're not doing as well as they want. It's like, okay, if you're going to sit back and you're going to wait for somebody to bring you something, That's why you're not having as much success.
You gotta go get it.
You have to go get it. So yes, we're fortunate enough to have social media where people can broadcast bits and pieces of the event, you know, but I will say this, there's certain things that are not broadcasted that you will never see.
There's a lot of things.
And that is what you go to the event for. Guaranteed.
No, that you. Why not? Oh.
But yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. And like I said before, in the middle, in the beginning of what I was trying to say, let's say, you know, there's no big event coming up. Let's say it's just a Saturday that you hear about in your area, and you're trying to figure out whether or not you're going to go. You go. Oh, it's the same presentation. I've heard it a million times. You know, this is that and the third. But have you been the one to present it? You know, even if you've heard it a million times, I've heard the presentation. I've been on the calls. I've been to the Saturdays. I've seen my husband present the information a billion times in 1,000 different ways. However, when you have a team and you know now I need to be in somebody's living room presenting this because I have a team member that's dependent on me now. Some of us probably don't. Even some of you watching maybe are new, or you have team members, but you have team members out of state. You don't know if you're going to travel. You haven't had to actually present in a living room before. So your time is coming. If you stick in this long enough and you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to have been in the living room. So you will be in the living room. So even though you've heard it 1,000 times before, you hear it differently when you know you got to get in the middle of the room and do a presentation. You're going to listen different. You're going to take notes different. And it's a whole different process. You may know the presentation front to back, back to front. But when you have to step in front of that room and do that presentation, it's different. So I would just stress to you, go wherever you can get to. If it's $10, if it's free, if it's a national event and you have to buy a ticket, go. You never know what's going to be on the other side of that event unless you go. And then if you have a team, how does it look if they go and you don't?
Yeah, that's what's crazy. Or they're being recognized and you ain't going to be there to see them and celebrate them. And you help them get that success. Or here's what my mentor told me. He said, how can you see yourself earning 6 figures and you haven't even bought the next regional ticket yet? And that person's not even into Total Life Changes. It's just a mentor in the industry who coaches me. He said, Elite, have you bought your ticket yet? I said, my ticket to what? He said, the ticket to your company's next regional event. This was like last year. We wasn't even doing a Global One Team Tour yet. This was, I think the next event was New Orleans. But most companies have regionals leading up to nationals, regionals leading up to nationals. This is a company, this is an industry thing. It's, you know, it's not just something that TLC does. You have regionals leading up to national. So, and like my wife was saying, typically the company will advertise the next event at the end of the event. And that's when the ticket sales spike. Right after Miami, the ticket sales for Atlanta spiked. A lot of people at Miami bought their tickets for Atlanta.
Rewind all the way back to New Orleans when they promoted the Global One Team Tour. Tickets for Atlanta were only $99.
Yeah, now they're $169 plus $3 for processing, so $172. So if we'd have bought them when we was in New Orleans, then we'd have saved $72. And that's a sacrifice that you gotta make. You gotta make those sacrifices because it's going to pay off in the end. That $72 could be, a hotel room pitch-in. That $72 could be gas and food because you got to eat while you're there. So with all that being said, let's go over the agenda for Atlanta. I know we lost a couple viewers along the way, but that's okay. Hopefully they'll catch the replay. July 22nd is when it kicks off, Directors Night. If you're a director and above director, executive, regional, and you already have your ticket, make sure you go to www.tlcdirectorsnight.com and register. I had 2 people on my team who were directors last year. I mean, in New Orleans, and they did not get recognized because they did not register. All you have to do is go to the website, directorsnight.com, tlcdirectorsnight.com, and register. That way you can be recognized. That is from 5 to 9, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Kicking off July 23rd, 2016, we got the next level training from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's going to be exciting. Y'all know the lineup of trainers we got. We got the Scotts, we got Mrs. Portis, we got the Lloyds. We got both families of the Scotts. We got Coach Stormy. I mean, we got all the top leaders that's going to be sharing how to grow your TLC business. Then we got the Leaders' Choice Awards from 1 to 3 p.m. Definitely want to see your leaders being recognized. They're going to be passing out checks that go all the way up to $100,000, starting at 25 all the way up to 100,000. Definitely want to be there so you can experience that excitement and you can actually visualize yourself being there. I'll tell you, when I went to Atlanta and I celebrated, enough people walked that stage. Yes, I was happy for them, but I also looked at the people that I joined the business at the same time with, and I'm wondering how come they're walking the stage and not me. We went to New Orleans. I'm watching the people that I joined. They all joined TLC in November of 2014, just like I did, right? And I'm looking at them like, how come they get to walk the stage and I can't? Like, what am I doing differently? Ladies and gentlemen, I refuse to go to another conference and they passing out check and I ain't getting one. Like, we went to work. That's how we came back from New Orleans on fire, because the pain pushed us to greatness. Like, you don't hate on people, but you look at their success and you're like, man, I could do it too. And not just I can, but I will. Not just I will, but I must. That can, will, must factor is real, y'all. So, all right. Leaders' Choice Award, 1 to 3. TLC Talent Night. TLC Talent Night. I mean, y'all, I don't know if y'all watch the videos, but it's too late to submit videos. It's too late to vote. Make sure you got to experience that. That's going to be awesome. I'm excited to see the people that we know, that we've been doing business with, actually being able to display their talent. Because if you were in New Orleans, you know that they brought the real deal. There's some money behind these events. You know, you performing on the TLC stage, that video might go somewhere. This might be your ticket into the industry for real. So I'm excited about that. Then from 9 to 11, we got the all-white party. That's definitely going to be exciting. TLC all-white party. I know last year I was in my white tux. I don't know what I'm going to be wearing this year, but Mr. Kenny Lloyd, I'm definitely competing with you. I'm going to try my best to outdress you this year. I know I didn't win last year in Atlanta, but my white suit's going to be official this year. The host hotel, like I said earlier, it's already sold out, but make sure you go to globaloneteam.com. You can even go to globaloneteamatlanta.com. globaloneteamatlanta.com, or you can go to globaloneteam.com, the number one, that one spelled out, and then click the Atlanta flyer. It's going to take you to the website. You can see all the people who's training. You can see all the time that I just went over. You can click the hotels and see what hotel, the hotel that's available. It'll take you to the hotel website. Book your rooms. I had to just put a credit card on file. I didn't have to actually run my credit card. So book it before they sell out. Even if you ain't got the money, believe. Yeah, we still got 4 checks before the conference. 4 pay periods before the conference. Of course, 2 of them is already in the works.
Well, I'm not even gonna say that because there was less than 500 tickets left.
Yeah.
So you better figure out fast.
Yeah. Get them
because
tickets.
You don't want to.
Oh my
you don't
goodness.
want to say, okay, I'm going, and then
the tickets sell out. GlobalOneTeam.com, y'all can. Matter of fact, y'all can just. I got the link right below. All you gotta do is click it. Click, and take you to the website. Buy your tickets. And we'll see you in Atlanta. I look forward to seeing everybody in Atlanta. Everybody. Let's take some selfies. Snap. Let's do it, man. Let's do it big, right? I had so many people, like, it'd be blowing my mind when we go to events and everybody like, yeah, let me get a picture. I'm like, man, this is unreal. But I appreciate y'all so much, man. It means so much to me. TLC, Hotlanta, this is 2015, but 2016 is going to be live and in living color. It's going to be 10 times better. 90 Days
Shout
of
out
Greatness.
to my team. I know y'all going to be there.
Yes, yes. I hope everybody's there, man.
But I know our team is going to show up.
Y'all gotta show up. Y'all gotta show up, man. Y'all gotta show up. This is going to be a real special one. I'm telling you. This is going to be a real special one. If you're within our organization, you have to be there. Like, we do these videos for everybody, but the team, man, we got to celebrate together because we wouldn't be where we are without you and without the coaching and the phenomenal leaders that we have. So with that being said, the major announcement is we will be in Atlanta and you need to be there too. We're looking for you. Leave a comment in the bottom. Let us know that you'll be in Atlanta so we can look out for you. And then, of course, we got some more announcements coming down the pipe. Just got to smooth out some logistics. I was going to make an even bigger announcement. My wife told me to hold off on that. I told y'all I like to just jump out there on faith and believe that things are going to happen. But we're going to smooth out some of the logistics on some of the other things that we got going on. Just understand Atlanta is going to be way different than anything you ever experienced in your entire life. Like, for real. It's going to be an experience of a lifetime, and we really want you to be a part of it. Any last words?
Just know that your success is on the other end of the struggle, and not just regarding the events, but the struggle in the industry, period.
Period, yep.
You're going to reach a lot of obstacles in this industry that can knock you out the game. You know, some people can handle the 1-2 punch, and some people are down for the count. I just encourage you, if you have any fight in you, to remember why you said yes.
Yeah.
And hold on to that. Hold on to that reason when things like this come up and you're not sure how you're going to get there. Hold on to that reason when those days are gray and you don't feel like, making a phone call. You don't feel like going to an event. You don't feel like, going online and responding to some of the questions when you just don't feel like it. Hold on. I'm telling you, there is pleasure and reward behind the pain. There is. You just have to believe it. You have to receive it. You have to speak your affirmations every day. Put your shield, put your armor on, educate your mind, get your heart together, get that personal development in you. I can't stress enough how important it is for situations like this, because you're going to get beat up. We're in a boxing match.
Yep.
The world is against our industry. Our friends, our family, our loved ones, the ones that we want to support us normally don't. And that's a low blow. You're constantly taking blows in our industry. You just have to make sure you're trained up. Ali wouldn't have won his fights if he hadn't have been training. Mayweather wouldn't have won his fights if he hadn't have been training. If he'd have just showed up on match day without getting prepared, he would have never won that battle. So these personal developments and going to these Saturday events and getting on the calls and all of those things is your training for this industry, for your business. No matter what business you're in, your events, your calls, your opportunity meetings, your trainings, your leadership meetings, all of those things is training you for the big fight. You want to make sure you come out as a winner on the other end. That's all I got.
That's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, leave a comment down in the bottom. Let us know that you've been watching and that you will be in Atlanta. I was going to say New Orleans. If you're not going to be there, just leave a comment. Let us know, hey, we'll catch you at the next one. I know in February, we got the national conference. That's going to be huge. But stay plugged in. Stay plugged in. Attend every event that you qualify for. Never miss an event that you qualify for. And we'll see each and every one of you over the top. Y'all have a good night.